What is up, my Nimbugs? In a recent video, we did a tier list of the upcoming Frostfall decks, and one of the ones that we were quite excited about, I'm going to be showing off to you today. It is Lochagon. Woo! Basically, we took the existing Little Guy Stall water deck that's been around for a little while now, and we just slotted in some new tools it got, cut out some of the less desirable cards that we were playing just to kind of keep the deck afloat. And honestly, this deck really is looking like it's going to be a tiered threat in the up-and-coming meta after Frostfall releases sometime in the next week. So I'm going to walk you through this deck real quick, and let's hop right into it. Whoa! So to kick things off, being that this is a Lochagon deck, we of course need our 3 Dratagua and 2 Lochagon. Dratagua is a receiver. When it receives, you can return up to 2 water spirits from your underworld to your spirit deck. Just insane type of stuff you can do with this. It's on cast, and obviously if it's ever Nexus 2 or you attach to it, you just get to bring back 2 more. Lochagon is a 2/6. It gains 1 attack for each water in your underworld, so kind of conflicting game plans here, right? This wants to return, this wants to gain based off what's in there. But when you return 1 or more water from your underworld to your spirit deck, you get to target and destroy a card. So actually this ends up being just an incredible pressure tool that just works so well. This works not just off of Dratagua's effect, it works off of Sluggle's effect. You can Ambrosia to get this to go off as well. So there's lots of ways to get this engine going. An additional piece that we are playing alongside this is Rise from the Depths. So this can only be cast if Atlantis is properly enchanted on field. And then what you do, you cast it, you target a Spirit Water Elestral, 1-cost Water Elestral in your underworld, and then you special cast it. So if you have Atlantis on field, you use this, you can bring back your Dratagua, you can bring back your Sluggle, your Foamy, whatever it is, you can trigger Lochagons, you can get Lochagon plays going. It's just a phenomenal enabler for this deck. And then, of course, we're playing the Atlantis package. For that, we got 3 Jolton and 2 Atlantis. Calling it a package is a little bit weird. It's very much a Yu-Gi-Oh term, excuse me. But this is our nice little Rise from the Depths option that we have here. There is a version that you can try out where instead of this, you're playing like Aphros, you're playing Poseidon, you're playing Elestrals to search Poseidon, and in that instance, you're trying to essentially set up a Dratagua plus an Aphros and bounce the spirits back and forth. So you can Nexus to Dratagua, gain, put them back under Aphros, that type of thing. It just lets you draw a lot, it lets you heal a lot. It's just a very phenomenal play that you can be doing. But we found that the Rise bringing stuff back, the Atlantis buffing up your guys makes your Dratagua a 2/5, and then bigger if you ever decide to put more spirits underneath it. It makes this deck just feel very, very nice. Up next, to facilitate our sort of strategy here, we've got our 2 Galaxy, 2 Mustation, become kind of a standard in the Little Guy Stall deck that I've been playing for a while. Some people have been testing and playing for a while. The 3 Foamy is also quite standard here. Foamy floating into your Sluggle, your Mustation, your Galaxy, your Dratagua. All great options. It's so cute. How could you not love the face on this little Santa hat looking guy? But it just gives this deck a lot of really good utility. You can basically access whatever piece you need at any given moment. So if you draw a Mustation and a Foamy, you can get to your Galaxy. If you draw a Galaxy and a Foamy, you can get to your Mustation. If you've got, stuff on field, you can get out Dratagua. You need spirits, you can get that. You can get Sluggle on a pinch. There's so many options here. And what's great is that if Foamy, is allowed to be on field, your opponent beats over it. If they have another guy, you go into another Foamy. If they have another guy, you go into another Foamy. If they have another guy, you go into a Sluggle, you recover all those spirits, and now you have something that you can ascend over into Lochagon for your next turn, or you could go into Mustation if they don't have anything that can beat over 6 defense. So there's a lot of options here with this package, and it's what has really made Little Guy Stall tick for some time. We're really just swapping out from water with thunder to now water with more water, and just keeping it all in engine. Now for some not water stuff that we've got. Deck doesn't do super well into some back row, so we got Lavalith here to swing back in the case that you run out of advantage. You do have little guys. That's kind of the point of the deck. So there are lots of instances where you have a spirit enchantment disadvantage, so you can cast Lavalith out pretty easily. Go ahead and pop one in your opponent's back row. Then we've got very standard lineup here of 3 Gorgons, 3 Poison Tip, 3 Shield. We've also got our 3 Tsunami in here as well. And these are going to be the counter runes that we're running. Some people will cut down on either 1 Poison Tipped or 1 Shield or 1 Gorgons in some cases to try and fit more stuff into the deck. The good thing is that the water engine is fairly compact, so you don't really need to worry about that. And so we're able to max out on all of these because we really need them. Because our guys are small, we need to protect them. We need the poison tip to make sure that we don't get beat over. We need to bounce things with shield if they are big enough. We need to keep things in defense with tsunami so that we can beat over them with galaxy. We need a Gorgons in a lot of instances, one of the best cards in the game. So these are our counter runes. And then just to finish off our runes, 3 Ambrosia is basically engine. And then 3 Earthquake is how we out some of the big guys that we can't beat over because we're just a bunch of little guys. Then, of course, to play all of our Elestrals, we have our Spirit deck here. This is 12 Leviathan, 2 Zaptor, 2 Vapyro, and then 4 Teratlis to round off the deck. You only need 2 Vapyro for your 2 Lavalith. It's unlikely you're going to see both, but you also have Ambrosia to get these back if you need it. You've got the 2 Zaptor for the 3 Jolton. You won't need to use all 3. We don't even have enough targets to search all 3. And then we have 4 Teratlis for the 3 Earthquake. It's unlikely you're going to play all 3. So these are our ratios for the Spirit deck, and let's get to some closing thoughts. And there you have Lochagon Stall. This deck feels like it's finally getting, some of the tools and pieces that it was lacking from base set. Little guy stall, water stall is something that's been around. It has, made tops in events, but it feels like this is finally getting to the point where it's got the stall, and the deck feels so difficult to kill. But then on the other hand, what the deck used to always struggle with was, since you've got little guys, you have a very hard time with beatdown decks. So it really struggled in the matchup against Earth Beatdown because they get Viserys out, they start popping backer with Equilinks. You just so quickly become disadvantaged. But with this deck, because we have Lochagon now, we can out some of those threats more easily. We've got Lavalith as non-engine to sort of facilitate popping and outing some of those difficult things that were hard to deal with. Overall, this deck just feels really good. I'm very, very excited to play it when it officially releases in the next couple weeks from Frostfall. And I'm excited to see how this deck performs. And so there you have it, Lochagon Stall. Let us know in the comments what you think about this. Are you interested in playing it? You looking forward to trying it out? If you are playing it, how do you feel about the Aphoros versus the Rise from the Depths variants here? I'm very curious about other people that have been looking into this deck. I've been testing both. They both feel pretty good. So with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Later, my name bugs. I gotta run. I gotta go to locals now. All right. Later, my name bug. Bye-bye.